Alright, hey there YouTube world, my name is Matt Schwartz and I am the Welding Geek. And in this video, I'm going to show you how I go about putting my T-Visors in and my harnesses for my helmets. Hopefully this is an informative video for you guys, so let's get rolling on the video. Alright, first things first, we got our hobart grinding shield. We've got a pair of tin snips. We've got some just regular paper. We're going to make a template out of that. Some scissors. And some sticky back VELCRO. I also got a straight edge and some markers to mark out on the paper when we get that far. Alright, first things first, you want to clamp your helmet down so it's not moving all over the place. Put a piece of masking tape on a piece of paper, tape it to the one side and pull it down tight, and then use your finger to press down hard on all the hard edges around the T-Visor. And this will give you the shape, the general shape you're looking for your visor. You're only going to do half. You don't need to do all the way across. You were going to do it in half. So I'm going to mark out our center lines. And this is where we're going to cut it in half, and then you want enough clearance around your T-Visor so it's not too small. So give yourself about a 1/4 inch around the top here, and then mark around right on top of that line. And then you want to give yourself a 1/4 inch clearance the other way. You actually want it to be smaller around the cheek. And go ahead and cut this piece out, and this will be your first part of your template, which will transfer over to your poster board. And you're going to want to grab a piece of poster board and transfer your template over, just marking the centers. Flop it over so you get the whole piece. And this should be a nice, steady template to use for marking out your T-Visor. Now that I've put this in here, we're going to do some fine-tuning of the template to see how it doesn't come all the way down. I need to go in and trim a little bit off the edges so it allows the visor to come down a little further. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And that seemed to have worked really well. Now that we have a template that we know what's going to fit, we're going to transfer it over to our hobart grinding shield. You see the stenciling here on the edge? You don't really want that in your visor. Sometimes it actually ends up being in your visor, which is okay. So I just recommend sliding your template over instead of cutting it out of the center. In this way, that little template or whatever the branding or whatever that is won't be in your visor. Alright, then we're going to take a Sharpie, mark around our template, and then we're going to go to our tin snips. Scissors won't really cut this very well. You really do need to use tin snips and cut around our line. After this first fit, I noticed that my visor is resting on top of my welds and not letting it go as far forward as I want it to. So I'm going to go ahead and mark out a 1/4 inch and clearance it out a little bit more. When you do this on your bucket, it may fit right in there. It might not be an issue, but you may also have to do fine tuning to everything. Just be aware of that. Now that I got my visor fitting the way that I want it to, I'm going to go ahead and cut a little square of Velcro. Now I'm not going to put the hook side on the visor, I'm just putting this here as a shim more or less to force the visor towards the front on this little tie bar that I have in my helmet. I decided on this T-Visor mount, I'm going to cut little strips, about 1/2 inch strips of Velcro, and put it up towards the top of the T. I'll show you here in a minute what that looks like, but these will be the only mounting points that I'll have on this T-Visor. And this is where I've decided to put my mounting locations. Just hook and loop Velcro is what I'm using to mount it. I'm going to go ahead and put the hook side down now. Alright, I'm going to remove the backing off the hook part of the Velcro. I'm also going to remove the protective coating off of the lens so the hook Velcro will stick to the visor when I press it in here where I get it where I want it to be. And just like that, the visor's mounted. Pretty simple. You can use all sorts of different methods to mount your T-Visors. I like Velcro because it's simple. You can use bolts on my other helmets. They just float because there's a little slot in the top of the bump helmet where you can fit it into, but this seems to work really well. Alright, harness mount time. The chin strap, I always just cut these off. There's no purpose to use a chin strap. I've never used a chin strap. On these harnesses, which I will link these harnesses so you can buy this if this is the route you want to go. There's a little line here and you have to bend these things down. Just FYI. I don't know why they come straight and I don't know why they didn't send them bent, but just be aware of that. And then you want to remove these screws. You don't need them. Just get rid of the screws. And then I'm going to go ahead and attach some hook Velcro to the front of this harness piece. Once you get it stuck down, you want to trim around it nice and neatly. So you're not getting poked in the head with Velcro if some stuff sticks by. And then I cut a piece of the loop Velcro that will stick to the front of that. I'm actually going to just put it up here in the top of the helmet. And this is where the front of the harness will mount. And just like that, the front of the harness is mounted. Just stick in the hook to the loop, no problems. I usually have to trim off this little section of the head pad. There's no need for it to be there. But now it's time to work on the back mounts. So where you mount the back is kind of a guess. I just kind of hold it up there and mark the slots when I think it looks right. You may have to play with this a little bit to get it to fit right, but I've done a couple, so I kind of know the general area I'm aiming for, and so I just put a couple slots here to give me a reference for the next back mounts. Now you'll have to figure out something to use for your back mounts. I made these at work. It's just a 1032 PEM stud pressed into an aluminum washer, and then I've got another washer and a nut that goes over top of them. you'll have to come up with something on your own similar. I'm not quite sure what you could use, but it shouldn't be too hard to figure out. I'm going to go ahead and back these with some Velcro, both the hook and loop stuck together, and then that way I cut them around nice and clean. Then I can just stick them where I need them to be. Now the harness is mounted. This is what it looks like. I really like using Velcro because you have a lot of room for error, because you can just pick it up and move it wherever you want to using Velcro. So the harness is now mounted. Now it's time for head pads. I will link these head pad kits also in the description. It comes with the Velcro you need and all these pads, and honestly, there's no wrong way to do this. It's just whatever fits your head the best. You might have to work with a bunch of different variations until you get the right one. So I kind of figured that out, and what I'm doing is just peeling off the back of the Velcro because it's sticky, sticking them to the pads, and I just put them in where I feel like they need to be. And this is what the inside of my helmet looks like here. Better lighting and the pad variation that I went with, and it fits really well. Do some jumping jacks here and looking around. Yeah, it fits really well. And alright, that's the video. I hope that was informative. I hope that you guys understood what was going on there. I got my visor in there, head pads in there. I actually switched out one of the pads in that kit with this pad up here, just fit a little better. And for all you who didn't watch the beginning of my helmet build video, who told me you never tried it on, boom. Fits really well. I can see really well. I'm really happy. I will link everything that I've used in this video in the description, so you guys can go ahead and find these parts. But yeah, that was a good build video. I have had a lot of people asking me, how do you put the T-Visor in and how do you put the harness in, and this is how I went about doing it. On this helmet, the other helmets that I've built, they're actually built off of that Lancer Tactical Dome, so it already has all the headgear in it. But you could transfer this over to any other type of helmet that doesn't have anything in here. The Velcro works really well. Putting this visor in, you can do all sorts of other things. You don't have to do it this way. This is just the way that came easiest to me, that works, that makes it so I can get the lens out, clean it, or if it gets too scratched, just replace it. Hold on to your templates. Let's see, let me grab this. Hold on to your templates so you can make more visors if your visor gets all dinged up. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Comment below if you got any questions or if I missed anything. Thanks so much again for the discourse we've been having. It's been a lot of fun. If you want to see me build through the rest of this kit, the Mandalorian kit, subscribe. I plan on making the whole thing. I plan on getting it all on camera. Trying to figure it out bit by bit. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Thanks for watching this video, guys. My name is Matt Schwartz, and I'm the Welding Geek.